So we just watched The Wrestler.
The Wrestler.
2008.
The Wrestler.
Starring Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke.
Marissa Tomei.
And Marissa Tomei. And
a bunch of other wrestlers.
Another depressing ass movie. A bunch of other wrestlers?
You called it St. Elmo's Fire on steroids.
No, it's kind of like
less than zero on steroids.
Kind of like less than zero on steroids.
Less than zero on steroids, right? Correct. I'm mixing up the Brat Pack movies. Yeah, no, Wrestler, look, like I was telling you when we were just watching it, I haven't seen it since it first came out. You saw it in the movie theater. You know, Mickey Rourke and his pretty much major comeback. And even Marissa Tomei tried to make a comeback in that movie. Both did a great job, but didn't do much after that. Marissa Tomei ended up being the Spider-Man.
Neither of them really did.
But none of them really did anything as far as that. And this movie was pretty much the opposite of what you see in today's wrestling as far as wrestling goes. There's no hardcoreness, like as far as the bloodiness and, you know, today's wrestling has no blood in it pretty much. Hard way, easy way, anyway. You know, it just doesn't happen. If wrestling was like every match we saw Ram Jam in.
Do you think he's Randy the Ram Robinson? Yeah. Mickey Rourke.
I'd love to watch him in wrestling nowadays.
A faded wrestler from the 80s. His name is Randy the Ram Robinson.
Right, because the movie starts off like 20 years later or something like that, right? 10
well,
years.
they show like a bunch of like magazine clippings and they play...
him in his prime.
Bang your head! They're playing
dun, dun.
Mental Health by Quiet Riot the whole time.
Great song.
Then all of a sudden it says 20 years later and it's him sitting in a locker room.
And that's where the movie starts.
And some guy hands him what looks like 2 bills. Like, it looks like the guy doesn't hand him much for his night's work of... He's a faded wrestler who's now on the indie circuit.
Doing a lot of steroids.
Doing a lot of steroids.
Yeah, buying underground steroids from people.
Catches up to him.
And pretty much is working with hardcore matches all the time.
Well, not all the time. Well, he ends up fighting a hardcore match that costs him a lot.
But any match that I've seen him wrestle in this movie, he was pretty much getting bloody. I mean, they were applauding him every time he walked into the locker room. He was getting, you know.
Well, that first match where he cut himself is a lot different than that second match where they're using barbed wire wrapped crutches and smashing window panes over each other's heads and the staple guns.
Staple gun, yeah.
That was the one where he ends. Alright, ooh, spoiler. Randy the Ram has a heart attack from doing steroids. And
right.
And
right.
Getting hit over the head with chairs and getting stapled with staple guns.
If that was a real situation, it would have been a Dark Side of the Ring episode for sure.
Yo,
absolutely. This movie is a dark side. This movie is a Dark Side of the Ring.
It kind of is.
Yeah, The Wrestler. You know, good movie. Mickey Rourke, whoever loves him, but he does a great job. Actually, I'm sure they were nominated, right, for this. I believe that Mickey Rourke was nominated.
He was nominated.
I'm not sure if he won or not.
He didn't win for Oscar. He won all those other
awards. Maybe even
awards.
Marissa Tomei might have been nominated too. But they both did great jobs in the movie, and they kind of like show pretty much the aspect of how he's a wrestler after his prime. Marissa Tomei's a stripper after her prime. Nobody wants to really get a part.
Well, he starts flirting with Marissa Tomei in the strip club.
But nobody really wants to get a dance with her anymore. They want the younger type girl.
He's basically the only guy that's showing her attention when she's in the strip club.
Marissa Tomei's body still holds up in this movie for sure.
She looked good. She looked great.
I mean, at one point I thought it was a body double, and then he said, wait, she turned around. She turned around. It was really her.
Yeah.
She really did a great job in this movie.
She looked good in the movie. But
yeah, she could have did this movie 10 years ago. It would have been great, too.
She dissed him a bunch of times.
Right. Trying to reconnect with his daughter, Evan Rachel Wood.
Oh, no, she gets him to reconnect.
From Westworld.
She tells him to...
She looks exactly the same with blonde hair in Westworld.
She tells him to get reconnected with his daughter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She kind of gave him the incentive to do that. And that even ended off on a cliffhanger, too. Because nothing, you know, she ended up... Wow. It was a depressing movie. Very good movie, though. If you like wrestling, it's a really good movie. It had a lot of,
It's more of a drama than it is a wrestling movie.
Well, even more of a love... Well,
it's a drama about a wrestler.
And a love story, too, kind of.
Was it really love? Marissa Tomei back with him?
I guess not. Well, I don't know. It has a little love story aspect in it, though. Because in the beginning of the movie, it starts off with some wrestling matches, which is well and cool. Then it starts getting really dramatic, where you go through like a whole maybe 45 minutes with no wrestling at all.
Well, he also has a heart attack.
That's
and
true.
He can't train anymore. He can't do anything. He can't take steroids anymore.
Right. He's doing a side job, basically working.
He's working at a deli.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's working at a deli for this asshole. This complete asshole.
Yeah, typical boss type that plays in movies, real asshole type. And but his whole thing is wrestling. He loves the wrestling, and that's pretty much what it shows you.
And he's hearing. Remember when he walks out to the deli counter and he's hearing the crowd.
He's walking out to do his first day.
He's walking out to the deli. He's about to deliver.
And he walks through those clear plastic things,
and he's
those
barriers. He's hearing the crowd cheering his name.
The crowd cheering him, and then he goes out there and it's like...
and there's nothing. You hear like elevator music.
And I hear it's really like that with old, former wrestlers and people like that can't get jobs, and they
cling on to the indie scene.
Well, yeah, he was good in the indie scene. He deserved more for the abuse he took. But after every single match, he was going in the back and getting staples removed or stitches.
Before he had a heart attack, they're taking friggin' staples out of him, and he cut his stomach open. He cut his stomach open, all that.
When you Anthony first saw this movie, did you guys like the movie? Because when I first saw it, I liked it. I didn't remember it.
I liked it. It's depressing as hell.
Oh,
it's a depressing movie.
Horribly depressing. I mean, it's insanely depressing.
I like a lot of depressing movies.
There really is no good points in this movie. Like that makes you go, oh yeah! It's like it just gets depressing, and then it just.
I'm sorry.
Every aspect of it.
I'm sorry if I like depressing movies.
The love part of it, and also the wrestling part of it.
Yeah, everything. The way his life turned out.
And his daughter, everything. Right. It's a total depressing movie. It makes
it's not an upper of a movie.
Slit my thread.
I'm sorry, it's not an upper of a movie.
Right, it's not one of those feel-good family movie types. No, not at all. He was injecting steroids in his butt.
And he was roided to the max. And the guy who was selling him steroids was like 2 times the size of him.
Oh yeah. Well, would you want like a Spike Dudley selling you steroids, or would you want like a Goldberg type selling you steroids?
I want Mr. Furley.
Mr. Furley. Hey, you want these steroids?
Mr. Furley of Three's Company selling me steroids. Yeah.
No, you want a Diesel guy to sell steroids. You want to sell it. You know, Oprah Winfrey's always selling the Weight Watchers thing. Well, that doesn't. It hasn't been working for her, but she's still promoting it. But yeah, it's something like that. No, it's a good movie to watch. Great, very entertaining movie.
Do you think that he actually was taking? He had to have been taking something to
right. Well, I was thinking that as I was watching the movie, if he was actually taking steroids, in general, because Mickey Rourke had a pretty tight body,
I'm saying he looked like friggin' that. There's a wrestler that he looked exactly like, and I showed you the picture of him, Jerry Lynn.
Yes.
He looked exactly like this guy, Jerry Lynn.
Not Jeremy Lin, but Jerry Lynn. Yes.
Not Jeremy Lin. No, not the Chinese guy.
No, you're right. He had to be doing something. Or maybe he just works out like that. But he did a great job in the movie. He definitely was nominated, if I can remember correctly.
He was nominated.
Yeah, and I don't know if he won or not. We have to look up who won the award that year. But no, he did a great job. What year did you say this movie pretty much came out? 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
2008. Okay, so that's about 12 years ago today, pre-pandemic. Oh, man.
Well, alright, you kind of breezed through everything really quick, so there's really nothing else left to discuss.
I'm like a breezer. It's there's tons of stuff to discuss. I'm not getting too much into the movie without spoiling it, but if you're a wrestling fan, do you think that wrestling fans would do you think wrestling fans would enjoy this movie? Hardcore wrestling fans?
I don't know. It's very depressing.
It depends on how they look at it.
It's very depressing. It's not a downer. I mean, it's a downer of a movie, so I don't think... It's like, it could be for any sort of sport you watch, like say you watch a baseball movie, right? Does
Well, you don't right, exactly. You don't have to be a baseball fan. You don't have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy this movie. Actually,
Does Field of Dreams make you want to play baseball? Like if you think you're playing baseball with a bunch of ghosts?
No, it would freak me out to play baseball or even build a field in my backyard. To
Yeah,
play
because
baseball,
of ghosts.
right.
Because
Right.
of the ghosts of dead baseball players.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. I'm not gonna. I agree. I'm not gonna play, but you don't have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy this movie. And wrestling fans, the reason why I ask you that question is because they show the behind the scenes of how wrestling is done. They show behind the scenes of the razor cutting. They show a lot of behind the scenes stuff about what we're gonna plan to do.
That's they're at the store buying all the props for their hardcore matches.
And they're hitting themselves over the
The
head
bug spray, they're spraying
with
each other.
freaking pots and pans.
And they're spraying each other in the face with bug spray.
They bought bug spray in the ring and they started spraying each other. And really, that don't really sting you. I mean, why even use bug spray? But yeah, they did that. They put bug spray for the ring.
Because they're crazy
idiots. Yeah, I mean, they just come up with the next best thing. This guy reminded me of like a Nick Foley type. You want to do tax, go to tax. You want to. But they didn't show. Remember when they bought the mousetraps? I think they were going to show that match. The mousetrap match. We did see a mousetrap match at AEW, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, where they were
probably took that right out of the rest.
Wooden board.
A whole bunch of mousetraps.
That was kind of stupid.
I thought it was cool, but.
Oh, all right. So there's an open ending to this movie.
Right. Very open.
What do you think happened to him at the end of the movie? It ended Sopranos.
Sopranos style.
Sopranos.
Yeah, it's like you're watching it and all of a sudden it's like, what happens? Like, basically it ends with him, about to do a move and he's not supposed to be wrestling anymore.
He's not supposed to be wrestling.
Not supposed to be wrestling.
He makes his...
He quit. He retired because the doctor told him you have to retire or else you're going to die.
Yeah.
Pretty much told him that. So then he just gets the itch to do this match. A rematch of him and the Ayatollah.
It's his 30-year anniversary match versus the Ayatollah.
And everything's going good, and basically he starts feeling...
His 30-year anniversary.
He starts feeling woozy.
Who is also the Ayatollah, who is also played by another wrestler, Ernest the Cat Miller. They have a lot of wrestlers in this movie. Mickey Rourke's not a wrestler, but he plays one in the movie.
And basically he's all woozy, he's not feeling good. But he goes to the top ropes very slowly, very, very slowly. And then as he's about to launch, that's...
2 times before that, though, he's grabbing his chest in the middle. He has an open...
Well, they made it look like he's going to die in the ring. That's how they made it look.
He's got the freaking open heart surgery scar on his chest.
And the C-section right where the chest is.
And he's wrestling.
They make it look like he's not doing good, and then he goes to the ropes, climbs to the top very slowly, and then they cut to black. And I even said cut to black. I didn't realize they were actually going to do it. And basically, you have to come up with your own conclusion. And I don't even know what to tell you. I want to think that he triumphs. He does the move. Everybody cheers. And
I don't think he does.
But I think they're trying to make it look like. Look, you have to draw your own conclusions.
They're trying to show him die just off screen.
I believe so. But you still have to draw your own conclusions. So we can't even give spoilers because we don't even freaking know what happens in the movie, to be honest with you. But in my opinion, watch the movie.
Oh no, we gave spoilers that he's dealing with hardships and everything. I guess we gave spoilers about that.
Yeah.
First of all, after that match where he gets paid like $50 in the beginning,
$50.
He comes back and he's locked out of his trailer. The guy who owns the trailer locked him out of it, and he had to sleep in his van or his car or whatever. He had to sleep in his car, and then find him in the morning.
And that's how it started. There wasn't one feel-good moment in the movie.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of in the beginning when he was delivering stuff and when he was serving food in the deli in the beginning.
Oh yeah, he was all happy.
He's being all jokey with everybody. It turned south real quick after that.
Yeah. And if you want to call that a happy point of his life.
Sticks his thumb like this in a friggin' deli slicer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He had the itch to wrestle. That was after he retired. He saw some blood and he started just going crazy with it. And then he went back that actually sparked him to go back. The blood. His own blood. He bled his own blood.
Why did he... What
Well, people have to decide whether he did that on purpose or he was just frustrated.
He did do it on purpose.
Yeah, well, then there you go. I mean, what can I tell you? He likes blood. He bled his own blood.
He likes blood.
It was a good
He
movie.
bled a lot in the movie.
Yes, he did.
Alright, that was... what would you give it? The Wrestler 2008. I give it a thumbs up. You already know I like the movie.
I'll give it a thumbs
It's
up
depressing
too.
as hell.
The way it was filmed is a little off-putting for some people, I
And he
guess.
kind of filmed it a little bit guerrilla style.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like just do what you gotta do. I'll just film it while you're doing it.
Like,
it's-
you know, they look kind of like fuck permits, right?
Yeah, they just no. It was good though, but you have to make your own conclusion
Let's see the budget for this.
at the end. I would say the
$6
budget.
million.
Wow, I was gonna go a little more than that. I was gonna say $20 million, but $6 million. Jeez, that makes Mickey Rourke probably got paid $500, maybe $1 million. Wow, jeez, $6 million.
And it made 44.
Wow, so it exceeded expectations
Yeah,
for sure. And that's why it was there. It was a good movie. That's what I was asking you. If you think it was an indie movie that actually made it to Cannes, Sundance, Tribeca, all those film festivals, and then, just won awards, but or was nominated at least. But it was good, though. It was good. I still wonder if wrestling fans would like it, but it was a good job, though. They did a good job. And I'm sure it's based on a true story, even though it doesn't say it.
I think what they did was take a bunch of the
Just
washed-up
stories.
wrestlers, the stories of a bunch of washed-up wrestlers around that time.
Because,
Like
Mick Foley
the
is...
Brutus Beefcakes and the Greg the Hammer Valentines and
Because
the
at
guys-
every match, they were showing
the
him
Jake
getting
the
work on.
Snakes, those guys who had to depend on the indie circuit around those times for any interest whatsoever. I think they took a mishmash of all those guys.
The Ram Jam.
The Ram Jam, his finishing move, the flying headbutt,
Oh.
which supposedly is one of the reasons Chris Benoit went insane.
From using that headbutt move.
The flying headbutt.
Yeah, well, that can make anybody go insane.
Don't do a flying headbutt.
A headbutt in general hurts me. I mean, whether I'm giving it or receiving it, headbutts hurt,
I never hurt myself headbutting someone.
which is insane. I mean, you have to really know what you're doing. Or have a metal plate in your head. Do you have a metal plate in your head or not?
No, not yet
Are
anyway.
you sure about that?
Not yet anyway.
Okay. Because I know sometimes I feel like you do.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I do also. Alright, so you give The Wrestler 2008.
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up. I liked it when I watched it. I like the rewatch also. I love the rewatch.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
Oh,
2
sorry.
thumbs up.
2008.
Because the only thing is, you give it what? A thumbs up or thumbs down? I'm not going to give it a thumbs down. If I can give it like a
I've given
3/4 way.
sideways. I've given sideways.
Sideways?
Yeah.
I'll give it a thumbs
Nah,
up. It was
I've given
entertaining.
him that. I give plenty of movies a that.
Yeah. No, it's a good movie. I recommend it. If people haven't seen it yet, you might as well watch it. I mean, any movie that's nominated like that. And if you like wrestling too.
Alright. Well, if you like depressing stories.
Oh, watch the movie. We seem to be doing a lot of like
Downers.
slit your wrist, less than zero type movies. You said less than
A
zero.
lot of downers.
Yeah.
Alright.
All
How
right.
we going, folks? Peace out.